What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Richest Steve in Atlanta. We are back with another one. This is episode number 11, y'all. I told y'all we're going to keep this thing moving. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know that y'all are in the building because we are here at this thing. I know y'all saying, Steve, it's not Monday. What you got going on? You missed Monday? You ain't come up with nothing Tuesday. Now it's Wednesday and you just streaming. I told y'all consistency comes over everything. Consistency comes over everything. So we gonna do this show today. I told y'all live on a Wednesday. Yes, man, we are live on a Wednesday. We missed Monday. I told you consistency first, man. Consistency first. So we coming live on this Wednesday. Man, y'all, I've been all over the place in the last week, this week. So that's really what's going on right now. I'm trying to catch up at this point. Last week I went on my Qversary with my LBs. We went to Cancun on a cruise. So y'all know I done had a lot of fun. Then ate a lot of burgers. I don't know if you can see it in my face. I need to get back in that gym so I can bring sexy back immediately. Cause I'm telling y'all, did a lot of eating on that boat. Had a lot of fun. But it definitely got me off track for this week. I feel all discombobulated if I don't do this thing first thing Monday. So I couldn't do it because I was traveling on Monday. I got back a little too late. I wasn't going to do that. Then yesterday, going into the office, that gets me all extra stuff going on. So we live on a Wednesday. We live, but it's going to be a good show still. We still going to have a good show. We got living on $65K a year. But you got 3 jobs. 3 jobs. That's some craziness. Stephen A. Smith talking on Donald Trump, and some black people are mad. Some black people were mad. They were upset. Very upset. And then we going to end this on off with a little bit more money. When you need $500, where do you go to get it? And how you going to get that? So like I said, we got some good topics today. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment, so that we know that you in here. We gonna get right into this thing with the living on $65K a year with 3 jobs. I don't know about y'all. I don't want 3 jobs to make no $65K a year. I do not want 3 jobs to make $65K a year. That is a lot. So when I seen this, I said, golly, this American dream sounded crazy. If you trying to do just for 65, 3 jobs, Lord help us all. If you need 3 jobs to do that, I'm just saying, Lord help us all, cause it ain't gonna be too fun for us. It will not be too fun for us. Let's go ahead and get right into this topic, though.
So the American dream is that you get the education that you need, and then you go and get a stable job, you buy the house, you buy the car, you get the 2.5 kids. But the reality is that in some situations, especially those who graduated during the Great Recession, is that we had a delayed start to that, and we had to figure out how to make adjustments in order to get there. My version of the American dream is just to be debt-free and live life on my own terms. My name is Shanita Leslie. I'm 40 years old. I live in Houston, Texas, and I make $65,000 a year working 3 jobs.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I like having multiple streams of income. Those are things that I don't feel like I have to do, and more so now that I want to do, now that I'm in a place that is financially comfortable for me.
Okay, that was her 3 jobs right there. Let's go back. Let's go see them. Let's go see how she make this money. 55,000 as a program manager at a university. Okay. So that's her day job. Then she does 6,000 delivering for DoorDash and 3,000 with freelance writing. Okay, I mean, I guess. DoorDash is like her second job, and I guess freelance writing is something that she just starting up. I don't think that's too bad. I wouldn't complain too much about that. If she loves doing what she do. That's just straight up. Door dashing as a side hustle since 2018. Dang. Man. Since 2018. Yeah, that's some years. That is some years.
So I started my financial journey by picking up DoorDash as a side hustle to pay down my student loan debt.
Them student loans. Hold on.
I knew that DoorDash wasn't going to make me rich by any means, but I really enjoyed the idea of working on my own time instead of having someone dictate to me when I needed to start working, when I needed to stop working. I have a 4.9 customer service rating, 100% completion rate, and I have over 8,000 deliveries completed. I remember one time I was doing delivery to a restaurant for a customer, and when I walked in, I overheard what looked like a grandmother was talking to her grandchild, and she made a statement under her breath, and she said, make sure you get a good education so that you don't end up like that. That really took me back a little bit because I was actually doing DoorDash to pay off my student loans, to pay off the education that everybody told me I needed to get. At the height of the pandemic, that's when I was really doing the most amount of hours with DoorDash. I was doing maybe 4 to 5 hours after work a week. And so that equates to about maybe 25 to 30 hours, including the weekends that I was also putting forth.
Oh, she done made a lot of money.
DoorDash kind of opened up other pathways for me to make money, and freelance writing was the second way I started to make money.
5 hours a week now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The amount of student loan debt she done picked up is ridiculous. $100K? I know a lot of y'all probably got that out here. Dang. I hope y'all are able to pay it off though. At least she trying. It seems like she's trying to knock that thing out the park. So as long as she trying and she getting it down, hey, what can we be mad about? Well, but the thing is, $100K is crazy. Like she said though, she's doing DoorDash and people talking about it, saying make sure that you get a college education so that you won't be like her. All degrees is not made evenly, as y'all see. And you gonna have to live below your means if you want to get that paid off. At least she's working towards it. At least at the end of the day, she's working towards paying that off. Cause I'm just saying that is a lot of student loan debt. 100K is like what? 3-4 times mine. I don't know how you do it.
I use zero-sum budgeting in order to manage my money, where I have one set amount of money coming into my bank account, and then from there I allocate every single dollar until it hits zero so that I understand where every expense came from. I pretty much wake up at about 4 o'clock in the morning to get to my gym class at about 6 o'clock. It's really important to start my day at the gym because it's the first thing that I can get to do in the morning without any other obligations. And it allows me to dedicate the rest of my time after work towards doing DoorDash as my side hustle.
All right, let's go ahead and look at that budget. I told y'all it starts at budgeting. And it don't seem like all that stuff is too expensive. These is her needs. She need housing and utility, and that's kind of low. I know where I'm at. It's higher than that. It's higher than that for sure. For housing and utilities, oh yeah, that's closer towards 2,000. So she got a good deal on housing, insurance. That is what it is. And how discretionary that. She doing the thing. People may talk about her having 3 jobs, but it look like she doing the thing. Pay $238 for her student loans. She got money going to her 403B. I think she doing good. She's definitely the budgeting wise, she rocking it. Oh, heck no.
That way I didn't have to worry about the hassle of paying for all the
heck no.
expenses of having a new car.
She went
while
from
also
a
trying
car to an
earn
electric
money
bike.
as a DoorDash driver part-time. Getting around Houston has been actually pretty easy considering that I live within the greater Houston area. I can do both combinations of using my bike as well as the Metro Rail line.
Lord.
I do intend on growing that emergency fund after.
Y'all know I was in her footsteps. I was in her footsteps, y'all, but I went and bought a nice car. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She did the financial savvy thing, and she went and got her an electric scooter. I went and I bought a GR86, nice car. Hey, I can afford it though. It's in my budget real nice. So hey, you got to learn to spend sometimes. I'm gonna spend a little bit of mine, but she decided when her car broke down, go get an electric scooter, and she riding around Houston with that electric scooter, still delivering DoorDash. That's a hard-working woman right there. She be working hard.
I have fully covered all of any remaining debt that's left out there.
Oh yeah, see, she whooping the mess out of a lot of folks. She ain't playing no games.
I feel pretty comfortable about my retirement investments and my quality of life that I'll have when I do hit the age of retirement. I think I'm saving pretty reasonably considering the amount of student loan debt that I was also paying off simultaneously.
Yeah. For sure. That's joint.
I have a lot more flexibility in my budget to be able to afford a bigger apartment, but I choose to live in accommodations that I really enjoy and is also more financially affordable.
It's a lot that y'all can take from her so far. It's a lot. She's living below her means. She's paying towards her retirement. She literally just said, I could live somewhere way more expensive. But I chose where I'm at now because it's more financially, affordable for her. And a lot of us at this age, millennials, all that, you're not doing that. Not doing that at all. So you gotta sacrifice somewhere. Sacrifice needs to happen somewhere down the line. And I'm sure we'll get together.
I like to spend a small amount of my money within the health and wellness category, which includes clothes, eating out, enjoying time with friends and family, and some small traveling every once in a while. I am from Connecticut, born to a Jamaican father and a Black American mother. I think what inspired me to work in education is that I do have preachers and teachers in my family. And so I think just in my blood, naturally, education was a huge part of my life. So graduating during the Great Recession was one of the most stressful times of my life. I had accrued $101,000 of student loan debt. The weight of that was extremely severe, and it was really hard for me to get on my feet and find my first stable job working full time. to make enough to even pay the minimum balance, just the interest on the loan.
Sweet.
And I knew that I would qualify for public service loan forgiveness at some point.
Hold on. Oh, she done had about 60 forgiven already. I'm hating on her. That's one thing about them teachers, y'all. They get their student loans out the way. I don't know what it is. They do that 10 years of consistent payment on time, get that joint out the way. And she's still working on it. And they might be right about financials too. Hey, what Dave Ramsey said, the teachers, she gonna end up a millionaire at this point. The way she's working, the way she's saving. The only thing is, I hope once she probably finishes those student loans off, I don't know if she's gonna keep working 3 jobs. I don't know about that. But if she does, hey, power to her. Power to her. More power to her. But them teachers, I'm telling you, they do that. Well, she in the education field. I don't know if she's specifically a teacher, but obviously they got their head on right. They doing something right in the education field. If they able to, they get they loans forgiven. I'm not mad about them getting their loans forgiven, It is a public service. They don't get paid as much. Hey, let it be what it be. They deserve it. They deserve it. But at the same time, they not just out here like a lot of us, having no financial literacy at all. At least they have that. And she seems very responsible with her money.
The moment I heard or received a letter that my federal student loans had been forgiven due to my years of service, I was completely relieved.
Yep. Jumping up and down doing backflips. 20,000 left to go.
I decided to avoid having any credit cards. I haven't had the best history with having a credit card in the past, and I want to ensure that I kind of have a strong footing of where I am financially before I decide to take that route. I don't have any worries about my credit score right now because I don't intend on making any big purchases. I felt it was also essential that I continue to rent for right now until I'm able to feel comfortable enough to want to take on a large amount of debt all over again, but this time making it profitable, which is having rental property.
She got her head all the way
When
on,
completed,
y'all. She got her head on so far. It is ridiculous the amount she got her head on. I want to be like her when I grow up. When I grow up, I want to be like her. She at least got the work ethic to, she has the mindset. And I think the mindset is what is very important. That mindset on her is going to get her far. And that's exactly why I'm on this journey. Because mindset matters. And it will get you there eventually. Some things, she went a little far with that car situation. Ain't no way I'd be out here in Atlanta in these streets on no electric bike trying to get to my job. Ain't no way I'm about to do that. But hey, overall though, she got her head on. I think, like I said, I look up to her. Yeah, I'm gonna take some of hers. But the credit card thing, a lot of people are, you don't need one. Like Dave Ramsey said, you need to cut that thing up and throw it out. The amount of interest on them cards is ridiculous. And if you carry over that balance, you getting hit across the head. Immediately. It doesn't even matter. If you carry that balance, what 26%, there you go. You're gonna get hit across the head. That's it. So I don't blame her for wanting to stay away from credit cards. Like she said she got into some trouble before, so she probably learned her lesson and was like, nah, this ain't the way to go. Credit cards are not your friend. And I know y'all like to charge vacations to your credit card. What you gonna do? You gonna charge your girls' night out to your credit card. You gonna charge some drinks at the bar to that credit card so that you can go to the club, and you gonna pay for it when you gonna pay that all off in the next month. But it's okay. It's okay. If you tapped in right here, gotta get that credit card stuff getting right. Gotta get that credit card stuff right.
In my debt-free journey, I anticipate on living my life to the fullest, like going to different countries on my own time and venturing out and doing more creative things that really fulfill me and really get to spend more time with my friends and family. I definitely want to enjoy my life and enjoy the life I created for myself by becoming debt-free. And I'm living out what I anticipated, which is really just buckling down and focusing on my goals and making sure that I never put myself in that situation again.
Oh yeah, y'all. She did it the right way. She's doing it the right way. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. My goal is definitely to be debt free one day, but we're gonna start at them student loans. I only got at this point 4 more months. That's gonna, if I keep on my plan, but I plan to get. I might go ahead and get that thing on out the way so I can finally. I'm gonna be and relax. And then I got, like I said, I just picked up a new car, so that's more debt that I have to pay off. But that rolling straight into it. I'm rolling straight into it. We're not gonna upgrade the lifestyle just because I done finished paying off some debt. That money that I ain't been spending is gonna be right back into it. Right back into it. That just is what it is. But I wouldn't, I want to be like her a little bit. A little bit. They talk all that trash about her having 3 jobs. She ain't got no time to do this. But hey, I think she's fulfilled. She seems fulfilled. So who are we to hate? Who are we to hate that she's fulfilled with what she do? I mean, she does DoorDash. She done made some money off of that to pay off her student loans. She budgets. She lives below her means, unlike a lot of us. Housing wise, go get your roommate. Freelance side hustles. She had that emergency fund built up. And then she don't spend her money crazy. The only thing I'll tell her is to go get a car. Because it wouldn't be me. Nah, I can't be on no electric bike riding around in Atlanta or in Houston. I think Houston crazy. I don't think we had the best metropolitan, setup for that. Now, if you was in Europe, I'd say forget the car. Ain't no reason to have a car in Europe half the time. I'm telling you, there's no reason to have a car in Europe half the time. So all I see over there is electric bikes, manual bikes, public transportation. Over here, boy. And then she be in Texas, y'all. I know she be hot. Ain't no way. That's the one thing I ain't doing. No car in exchange for electric bike and DoorDashing? Heck no. Hey, more power to her, y'all. More power to her. But yeah, make sure that y'all follow some of the things she put into place, because she obviously got something going on that it's down the right path. It's not bad at all. If you would, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment as we roll right on into this next topic. We going in right into the next topic. Stephen A. Smith has said some things over the past, week and a half that had black people outraged. He had some black people outraged. Oh. Trump saying, this is what had them outraged, is that Stephen A. said black folks find him relatable because of what he's going through. Only because Trump said black people like me because of indictments. That because we can relate to him. Do y'all think Trump is more relatable because of him being targeted, with those indictments? I've been hearing that going around a lot, though. Yeah, Trump knows how we feel to be falsely targeted for certain things. But I don't think that's the reason I'm voting for him or anything. I haven't just too much experienced that, so I guess the overall older generation, or some people maybe in the young, that's why they tapping into him. I definitely seen in Georgia when they made him go and he took that mug shot, when he was leaving, they was happy as all get out for Trump. They were saying free Trump. They were saying free Trump. So, and this was in the hood part. So, is Trump more relatable because he has these indictments? And Stephen A. Smith said, yes. Black folks find him more relatable because of those indictments. And certain black people were not happy. So, Stephen A. Smith, you know he had to respond. He ain't gonna take that. So let's go ahead and get his response going right now.
Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me move on to some of you annoying asses and just get this out the way. And obviously I'm talking about Donald Trump. I was a guest on Fox News' Sean Hannity's show last night to discuss the upcoming election, the trial, and Trump. Some people weren't happy about what I had to say. Take a listen. But I got to tell you something. As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through, he wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we have. And that's what he articulated. Needless to say, people.
Oh, I don't think Stephen A. was wrong. I do not think Stephen A. was wrong with that statement. I really don't think he was wrong in that statement. Because I see that happen a lot, you know, with black people. When the law, the criminal justice system falsely persecutes anyone or, you know, racially discriminates against anyone, black people automatically usually, you know, come to their side, come to their help. You know, like they want to say, this is how we felt as well. So I don't think Stephen A. is wrong at all in his statements. Because historically, black people have gone through that. Like he said, even our leaders have gone through that. I don't really know any black leader who wasn't arrested. Even Martin Luther King, for protesting, was sent to jail. So it's like, if you see Trump, who's also a leader, go, you gonna say like, yeah, we seen this. It happens to us all the time. Stephen A., I do not think you're wrong. Already, I don't think you're wrong. And I know you about to come back with and say some stuff to these folks. What y'all think? Y'all think he was wrong? Because I'm telling you, he hit that nail on the head. All right, Stephen A.
Were in a tizzy over that. And why were they in a tizzy over that exactly? Because it's being portrayed and misconstrued that I'm saying that Trump's plight relates to black people. Well, it's easy to take things out of context, which is why I love having my own platform, so I can remedy and correct some of the foolhardiness that's put out there. First things first, Sean Hannity asked me the question about Trump gaining traction with the black vote, and how whether it's a couple of points or 3 points or 4 points, that it could end up tilting the election in his favor that's upcoming this November. Yes, he's the presumptive GOP nominee. Yes, he's on trial for a hush money case to a porn star. Yes, he recently lost a civil suit for $454 million, where he had to pay about $175 million or something like that up front, okay? Yes, the man has had 4 indictments against him, 91 counts against him. Still running, though. Still a presumptive GOP nominee, though. And by the way, as I pointed out, has gained traction and is ahead of the incumbent, President Joe Biden, in at least 5 polls. Not all of the polls, but at least 5 polls have Trump ahead. Now, before I go a bit further, getting into us, us as black people, because we know how we can be now, okay? Not all, not some of us, but I'm just talking about some of us from our community. We know how the hell we could be. We're going to have that conversation in just a second. But before I get to that, I love how y'all pick apart me on Hannity. I was on Cuomo on News Nation an hour earlier. I ain't hear nothing about that. I was on MSNBC at least twice over the last month. I ain't hear nothing about that. I was on CNN. Abby Phillips, Laura Coates, several times. I ain't hear nothing about that. Okay? Oh, Stephen A., contributor to Fox. I'm no contributor to Fox News. I show up on all the networks. I was on Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. I'm sorry, I ain't hear nothing about that. I've repeatedly said, I think Trump will cause civil war in this country. I can't vote for the brother. Y'all just going to ignore that. Why am I bringing all of this stuff up? Because the second black folks find somebody from our community that doesn't march 100% lockstep with one another, they a sellout. They this, they that. Shut the hell up.
Let them know. That's what I'm talking about, Stephen A. Tell them again. Because I like, hey, they come at me, I'm going to say, I'm going to just have to do the same thing. Because I ain't going to let you be in a group sometimes. I'm telling you, folks get mad. Folks get mad. And if y'all know me, I control the mess out of folks. So I'll get to trolling. I will get to trolling. And if it come out, hey, that just is what it is. That just is what it is. We all do not have to agree. Let's agree to disagree, and let's get this thing going the way it needs to go, though. You know, let's do what's right and get this thing going the way it go. Stephen A. can go
Shut the hell up. This is getting ridiculous. Okay? Trump is winning. Y'all just gonna stand still? I'm wrong when I sit up there and I say, yo, Democrats, all you got is the soon to be 82-year-old incumbent. You didn't have anything in the bullpen. I'm wrong for bringing that up. Nope. I'm wrong for bringing up why the hell you had Gavin Newsom on Fox News looking like he's running for president instead of Joe Biden being the president or Kamala Harris being the vice president. I'm wrong for bringing that up. I'm wrong for bringing up when I went off about Kamala Harris, our vice president, our HBCU grad from Howard University, a black woman, highly intelligent, former attorney general in the city of San Francisco, former attorney general in the state of California. I was wrong for bringing up how she was wrong to avoid getting into it with then presidential candidate Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, when he wanted to debate her on the good parts of slavery. I was wrong. I was wrong about that. I was wrong to say that's a fight she should have embraced. When y'all gonna wake up? I'm wrong when I'm pointing out how black folks for the first time are talking about the borders being flooded.
Yeah.
How illegal immigration ultimately negatively affects us. I'm wrong. I'm wrong in pointing out how xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia has all of a sudden become bigger issues than racism in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. How much proof do you need? When I brought up the economy, they say the economy is good. They say the economy is flourishing. You trying to tell me you black and you disagree with me when I say to us, we don't want to hear about the numbers. Oh, the labor participation rate is good. Oh, unemployment is good. Oh, the economy is okay. If gas prices are damn near double what it used to be, if the price of bread, milk, cheese, and eggs and everything in between is double what it used to be, but we ain't getting raises at work. God. You trying to tell me I was wrong for bringing that up?
Stephen A.
You trying to tell me I'm wrong when you're sitting up there and you talking about and subjects like immigrants in New York City getting $53 million prepaid credit cards to subsidize their existence in this country, and I'm pointing out how that was never done for black people? I'm wrong? I'm wrong?
Go off, Stephen.
That's where we really want to go? That's what game we playing?
Go.
I ain't talking politics. I'm talking life.
I
don't give a damn that I'm inundated with sports all day, every day. I'm a human being. I'm a black man. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. You don't see this shit happening? I'm supposed to just sit idly by and say nothing?
That's what they want.
The hell with me talking. Why ain't you talking?
I can't find it with a pause, y'all. He just went down the list of the literal problems that I feel like I have personally with what's going on. He literally just went down the list. And he popped it off. Trump's going to win. And there's nothing that y'all are... I don't even think the Democrats are trying at this point. Honestly, I don't even think they're trying. I know they heard the buzz. We don't want Biden again. Really, no one wants Biden again. And they did nothing at all about it. Nothing at all about it. And then he goes on down the list of just bam, 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 bam. Where I'm living my life, I see prices go up. I know gas is higher. I know groceries are higher. Me and my brother, we chilling at the grocery store. We got some, we live together, so we trying to go shopping, get us some groceries, some food. We was just for the week, maybe like 3 days. We look at it, we said $100. God. Hold on, bro. What we get in here? What we got in here? Man, it was ridiculous. Just enough food for 3 days. $100. Because we had maybe a few more extra dollars. But I remember in college, at least, when I was spending that $100, my cart was full. I'm telling you, my cart was full. And now I'm looking at that. I'm like, this thing, it's bad. And I keep hearing the economy's in a better place than it was. Employment is lower for black people than it's ever been. Okay, congratulations. We struggling out here, though. We are struggling out here. And Stephen A. is knocking it across the head. Golly. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not going to lie to y'all. He said, "You telling me I'm wrong." Stephen A., you not wrong. You not wrong. And I hope black people will listen to this. Listen to actually what you have to say. I know one thing that definitely hurt me was when it didn't hurt me personally. It didn't affect me, personally. But when I started hearing that the immigrants are coming in and people in Chicago, they struggling and all that, and those people are hurting out there. They're really hurting. And they pay taxes in this country, so where's their help? But like I said, my biggest thing now is we need to get from wanting those handouts. That's the thing that we need to turn to. We've been pacified on those handouts for so long that now that's what we're looking for is handouts. We need to change something as a group, as a people, to where we don't need those handouts anymore. We're not voting on who's going to give us, the most money in welfare just so that we can live, Our problem should be on another side of, okay, who's going to help us save all this money we done made this year? We done made so much money, y'all. We voting on who gonna help us keep more of it in our pockets. Not we voting on who gonna help us make more money. Who's gonna help us while we still in poverty. I think that's something that we need definitely talking about. That way our school systems will actually have the money to fund our school systems, because it's bad. It is bad. Stephen A., golly. I'm going to let you go on some more, because you had me, my jaw dropped about that whole time.
Why aren't you screaming to the high heavens? Why aren't you telling liberals on the left, yo, you need to stop with the extreme leftist stuff on the fringes with all of that woke stuff? what sex you are, whether you are male or a female, whether you can be a male but call yourself a female and get to compete against women or girls in various sports. You want those issues to be more prevalent than the stuff going on in our community that directly affects our lives as opposed to less than 1% of the damn population? What you doing? How come you ain't doing it? How come you ain't raising holy hell? How come you not speaking up? And by the way, to get specific, when I brought up Trump and whatever relation he has with black folks, the question that was asked to me was the supporters of Trump. Why are they doing so? I said black folks want to be safe in the streets of America. They don't want to see somebody committing crimes, assault or whatever, and getting arrested and being out of jail in the same day. I said black folks want to make money and they want to keep money in their pocket.
That's the big one right there.
They want to be safe.
That's the big one right there. We want to make money and keep it in our pockets. That's what we want. We don't want no handout. I'd rather be able to make as much money as I can and keep it in my pockets than make almost nothing and be asking the government on hands and knees, please help me not be in these streets homeless. Because obviously they don't care. Obviously they don't care. They trying to bring in a new working class that'll overshadow you. Because at the end of the day, it is definitely about that money. They trying to bring in a new working class. They're going to make sure they okay. All right, we're going to get them this. Boom, it's good. That's it. That's what it come down to. I'm voting on who going to help me make money. I didn't say give me money. Who's going to help me make money and keep money in my pockets? That's point blank, period. That's what I'm at this point. Because who are we voting for at this point? Honestly, like both candidates. Both candidates it ain't the best. But at the end of the day, it definitely comes down to the money. You know, morally on both sides. Yeah, well, you don't have morals because he did this, he did that. What you gonna do? I don't want to see more inflation. I don't want to see prices go up. I don't want to see any of that because it is getting bad. It is getting bad.
That's what I said. And I also said this. I said, yo, our criminal justice system, our courts, law enforcement, that anytime we see anybody that we deem to be an individual being persecuted, where the law is being exercised against them, the heavy hand of the law, do we find that relatable to some degree? Yes. I'm lying about that? Really? Really? I'm lying about that, huh?
Nope.
Didn't happen to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
It did.
Didn't happen to Malcolm X?
It did.
Didn't happen to Al Sharpton, damn it.
It did.
Didn't happen to a plethora of black folks throughout our history. When all else failed, the heavy hand of law enforcement, of the courts, of laws, ultimately rained down upon them.
It did.
When we talk about recidivism, when we talk about our incarceration rate, don't we sit up there and talk about how we need to get the laws changed because folks are being criminalized for the most innocuous of things? Remember we had those conversations?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about the crime bill in the 90s?
Yeah.
When people were being thrown in jail at an exorbitant amount out of our community because of non-violent offenses? Didn't we hear the now president apologize for his role in leading that charge when he was the head of the Senate?
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Didn't we hear Clinton apologize?
Yeah, they did.
When his wife was running for the presidency?
Horrible for the black
I'm
people.
making this up, though. I'm making this up.
No.
You don't see the parallel? You don't see the connection? Why you think Trump went out there and he said, hey, what were his words? I've been told, look, Those were his words.
I've been told.
I've heard that some black folks find themselves somewhat relatable to me because of what I'm going through right now.
And I think that was smart of Trump to do. I'm not gonna lie. What they say, you gotta apply to people's pathos, ethos, and logos, all them things. He did. He made himself relatable. He just did I mean, it just he I think that was planned. He said that on purpose. Because when you get to thinking from the point that he's coming from, not just saying, I understand the black plight or anything like that. But it is a relatable matter. At the end of the day, it is a relatable matter. Because we have been prosecuted for years now. That's the reason black men are out of the house home, at an alarming rate when they were getting locked up and incarcerated. It's not good. It's not a good thing. And I think President Trump made a smart move by saying what he said. I think it was a smart move. And I think the only people who don't really understand what he's saying are the over liberals. I definitely think they're in their feelings, because what he's saying is he's being falsely persecuted. He's being overly prosecuted by law, which is something that has happened to black Americans since the beginning. That's literally what's going on right now. Point blank, period. That's what's going on right now. I want to hear some more what he's going to say. I was going to stop at about 10 minutes, but I just want to hear it because I didn't finish it. I ain't finished it. So let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Let's keep it moving. See what Stephen A. coming, because he coming with facts. That just is what it is. He's coming with facts.
And where would we get that from? You know good and damn well. Georgia case is another matter. On the phone, I need 11,000 votes, 11,700 votes. That's an egregious situation for the president to find himself in. We ain't talking about that. But we ain't talking about the civil case where he lost a $454 million, had a $454 million judgment against him either. You real estate and you manufacture, you're a real estate mogul and you manufacturing numbers. Okay, wow. We know that's going to happen. And you do the crime, you get caught, you got to pay the penance or you got to do the time.
Yeah.
But you're the former president of the United States. And your ass is in court where you have to show up each day. Otherwise, you're going to be thrown in jail. And the crime is that you took $130,000 of money and through your lawyer or some other intermediary, you gave it to a porn star for hush money purposes. So he got loose with a porn star.
He
didn't want the world to know why he was running for president that he did that. And so he tried to wiggle his way through that. You trying to tell me that America is sitting up there? I'm talking about independents and folks on the right. Of course, people who hate him on the left are going to take that position. But I'm talking about independents and folks on the right. You trying to tell me they think this is a serious matter that requires our time and attention?
No, it doesn't.
John Edwards, did he do time? Gary Hart, did he do time? Bill Clinton, they said he got loose in the Oval Office. I heard libertarians losing their damn mind. It was in the Oval Office. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Remember that?
He's getting it busy in the Oval Office.
But he in court. Instead of being on the campaign trail. You don't think people see through that? They do.
It's like a witch hunt.
All I did was point it out.
They didn't want you to do that.
I am not a fan of Trump being the president. I think he will cause civil war in this country because I don't think he's going to cater to all of the American people. I think he's just going to cater to people who voted for him and who are loyal to him. And the rest of us be damned.
That's what he's going to do.
That's how I view him.
It's a class thing. I'm telling you.
But that doesn't mean I get to close my eyes and be completely oblivious and ignorant to the stuff the Democrats are doing to lose the damn election.
Exactly. There it goes.
I said it before and I say it again. Beat him.
Beat him.
Beat him. Get a bullpen. Have some other candidates. Find folks with pizzazz that can talk to the American people and resonate.
There we go.
Don't act. I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm saying from an impression, from a perspective matter. Don't act like what you're doing is you want the president to get through the election. And then after that, damn it, God rest his soul, he could end up passing away or something and Kamala Harris can become president that way.
Yeah,
no.
That's some bull.
You want to be president, run for it.
Yeah.
Beat him.
Do it.
Show that you can compete.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we got to do.
That's what I want.
In anything we do in life. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I feel
you want to come at me, feel free. Ain't nobody running, ain't nobody hiding.
I feel
No, it had nothing to do with sports,
that.
don't have nothing to do with politics. It's got everything to do with me. I'm Stephen A, baby.
Hey,
I'm
Stephen
who the
A,
hell I am.
Do your thing. He came with some facts right there. I personally wish that I don't want to say that I'm Republican, I'm Republican. That's not the fight. That's not the battle. That's not any of that. We just want a better candidate than Joe Biden. That's period. We want something new. We do. Like he said, I don't feel personally what has been going on under Joe Biden has benefited me in any way. I don't think it's benefited the American people overall in any way. Of course, there's small, minute things. There are things that he has done that are good. But overall, I don't just think America's in a better place after Joe Biden. Of course, the numbers can show it. The data can show it. But like Stephen A. Smith said, we are living life. And life, it's not always about ones and twos. Those can get you far. But living your life and knowing how it's affecting you is going to get you way further. And Joe Biden has not, in my opinion, helped the American people overall at all at this point. So I personally don't see myself voting for him because I don't like Joe Biden. And like Stephen A. said, give us somebody that's worth me voting for, that's worth us fighting for, that's worth us speaking up for. Because they can say what they want to say. I don't think my dislike for Trump is bigger than the example of president that Joe Biden has given me. That's how I feel. That's just how I feel. So with that, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Make sure y'all leave a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about Stephen A. I don't think he was wrong. I do not think he was wrong. I don't. Stephen A., like he said, I'm that guy. I like that. And hopefully one day, when I get older and I'm able, he's had some time in this thing. So the way he presents, the way he does all that, it's been perfected. He knows his information. He does all that. He's studied. He's done all that. You can tell his age has given him the wisdom to continue on. That's what I hope to get through this journey. So if y'all here with me on this journey, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We're going to end off right on that. We're going to go straight on into the next topic, y'all. If you need to find $500, what's the best way to do that and keep it? I know me as a person, a lot of Americans don't have an emergency fund. I don't know why y'all don't have an emergency fund. That should be, I keep at least, right now I'm trying to leave debt and do all that stuff. So my emergency fund is very low, $2,000. But $500 is not going to be the end of me. I know for most Americans, if you have an emergency, probably over $100, you will roll over and probably almost die from that emergency. Your car break down, all hell's about to break loose. You're going to go through it. Your pipes, you got to bring out a plumber. you're going to have to go through it, you know? So this is going to talk about $500, where to find it. But I'm telling you, the best way to find that $500 would be to have an emergency fund where you put some money into every month. That way, when you have an emergency, which most emergencies are under what they've already said, $2,000, you will be financially stable in that instant. Because most random emergencies are under $500. Let's be real. I know I've had tires pop on a car that's under $500. Thankfully, I had my emergency fund, my $2,000 emergency fund. You know, something happens, you have to run out to the store and get this, get that. You'll have an emergency fund to be able to afford that. So that's what we're going to get into right now. You need $500, how you should get it. Let's go.
Say your car breaks down, and the repairs are going to cost you a few $100s. How would you pay? In 2022, a Federal Reserve survey found that about a third of Americans couldn't cover a $500 expense out of pocket.
Dang.
There are a lot of bigger picture reasons for that, but this video is going to look at something really specific: the actual routes that Americans in this situation typically take to get that money, and how much each of them might cost down the line.
All right. Your Money Explained, y'all. They've already told you. 1/3 of Americans can't even afford a $500 emergency. That, if you cannot afford a $500 emergency, like you say, your car break down, it's going to be a bad day for you. I already know. You're going to have a bad day, horrible day. It's not going to be good. The amount of times, specifically with the car, because so much things can go wrong. I'm talking about wheels. You may get a crack in your window. You know, your battery might go dead. That's happened to me probably the most. And yes, that was right under like $500 to do. Not being able to afford that, y'all got to do something. So let's see. Let's continue.
That same 2022 Federal Reserve survey described 6 basic non-cash options that respondents said they would use to cover an unexpected expense. But how available each of these options are to most Americans and how much they actually end up costing varies. Let's look at availability first. Most of these paths require you to deal with some kind of bank or institutional lender, both of which have histories of excluding people without existing lines of credit. If you want to avoid that, you have these 2 very basic and straightforward options: sell something or borrow from someone you know. These routes might have an intangible cost, but they won't require any approvals or credit checks, unlike the rest of your options. Borrowing from a bank is perhaps the route with the highest barrier to entry. In order to be approved, you'll have to have really good credit and put together a pretty detailed application, and be able to prove you have the income to pay it back. And a lot of banks have a lending minimum of $1,000, which means more money to pay back later or taking the time to find a bank with a lower loan limit. Credit cards are slightly easier to get, though it varies depending on the card. About 82% of Americans already have one. But if you don't, it'll take some time to be approved and receive your card. Same thing for the bank loan, meaning they might not be viable for covering a time-sensitive expense. And then there are these 2. At first glance, you might call them the easy options. You can go into overdraft or allow your bank account to go into the negative, which not every bank allows, but if yours does, you generally don't need to apply for it. We'll come back to this one. Finally, there are payday loans. They're short-term loans from businesses set up specifically for that purpose, marketed as a sort of advance, bridging the gap until your next paycheck. They are easy to get and come through fast. With no credit checks or collateral needed, virtually anyone can be approved, which is why people turned away from the bank and credit system often find themselves here. With all of these paths, there are costs and obstacles, but this one in particular is bumpy.
With digital
All right, let's see. So there are 6 routes that you can take. Let's see them. 6 routes
Meaning
you
they
can
might
take.
not be viable for covering a time-sensitive expense. And then there are these two.
You got bank loans, credit cards, borrowing from someone you know, sell something, overdraft, and payday loans. And we're going to go just from the availability first. Let's be real. Payday loans, you can get them quick. Overdraft, you can do that quick. You can borrow from someone, that's a little medium. You can sell something. Then you have bank loans and credit cards. The thing about these, y'all, the easier they are to get, usually the worse damage they can do. And the ones in the middle, they kind of like that. And then credit cards and bank loans, you really don't even want to, get too far into them. So that's the 6 things that you can do to get $500 right now that most Americans do. It's pretty easy to get through. Availability wise, it seems so base level. But now we're going to dig deep into the cost of these things. Not having that money for your emergency, what it costs you in the long run is really what matters. And all of these have a cost to them. I don't care what anyone says. You can borrow from somebody. That's cool. Your overdraft, payday, sell something. You go to the bank, use credit card. They all have costs to it. And I think all of the costs, while they all might not hurt, you have to give up something in all of these no matter what. Yes, some are worse than others, but you have to give up something for all of these in the long run. So let's get on past that pause.
Videos like this possible.
And get to it.
These two are likely to cost you the least down the line. If you sell something, you may need or want to replace that object eventually, but you'll have no outstanding debt, and you won't have to deal with interest or fees. And if you borrow from a friend or family member, they may not necessarily charge you interest at all. So your interest rate, in bank speak APR or annual percentage rate, could be 0 or close to it, meaning your debt won't grow while you're trying to pay it off. These paths are where it starts to get.
All right, so I just want to talk about those 2 paths first because they made them seem like this is the path to go to. And I'm going to just start with selling something. When you sell something to make up that, you most likely are having to sell something that's valuable to you. And I wouldn't want anyone to sell something that is, overly valuable to them. I know people who need money, they're paying family heirlooms, their dead relative gave them something and they sell that. It even gets down to selling stuff that's not theirs. You're stealing at that point to sell something that means of value to you. And the way that affects you mentally is not good. Like, you literally selling something that means something to you. Like, if your father gave you a watch but he ended up dying and now you're having to go sell that watch, pawn that watch off in order to get $500. The emotional damage from that is not equivalent to what you could have done if you saved up a $500 emergency fund. The joy you get out of that. Like, they made it seem like it's so easy. You won't have any debt for that $500 and you won't accrue interest, so it won't cost you any more. It costs you mentally having to sell that item. Like, it could mean something to you. When you're selling something, it's going to have to mean something to you. Protection. Some people may have to sell, their guns for quick money. So now they're out of protection. The value of things that you have to sell, it's not that easy just to go, okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Unless you really just don't care about it or don't need it. That's like me if I sold my laptop. Okay, I don't use my laptop all the time. But when I use my laptop, I need my laptop. And I done sold it because I wasn't financially responsible enough to have an emergency fund for $500. And now we can go on to asking someone else for money. That is never easy on both sides. The person who's asking for the money or the person who's giving the money. It's never easy on both sides. Usually, yes, yes, let's say you don't have to, show anything to pay that back. You won't accrue any interest, it won't build. But let's be real. What happens if you don't pay that back? Then what? What happens? You've asked someone for this money and you don't pay them back. Then what? Your relationship is ruined. That relationship goes down the drain. And then on the other side, now that person is sacrificing for you. So now that whole trust system, it switches a little bit, That whole trust system, it has to switch. It has to switch. That has ruined many of relationships. Let's be real. That's probably one of the biggest relationship killer is money. Well, he asked me for $20 and I gave him $20. He ain't give me $20. Said, man, it's just $20. When in reality, they were giving you their last $20. And that whole relationship just got destroyed over this situation, that if you were financially responsible enough to have your emergency fund, it could have been avoided. It could have been avoided all the way. I tell people, honestly, borrowing money from someone, I personally, being financially responsible, would never give money out to anybody that I needed at that point in time. That I needed at that point in time. I would never. Yes, I do expect my money back. Yes, I do expect my money back. Yes, I do expect my money back. But I don't need it at that point in time. If you understand what I'm so, yes, if you don't pay me back, it will ruin our friendship. It will ruin, what we have. But I personally, I financially will not be affected by that situation. Because personally, yes, I will feel hurt. I will feel betrayed, for not getting that money back. So I would not, these options, although they might be the easiest, I don't think they are the best. Although those options are the easiest, they are not the best. And we all know what the best is. We'll save it. I'll talk a little bit more. Those options are not the best. Because I feel like in this video, that's what they made it seem like. Go sell something that's personal to you, or, go ask someone for it, which I feel like you can end up destroying a very good relationship by doing those things.
Get more complicated. Generally speaking, when it comes to institutional lending, the easier something is to get, the higher the interest rate and thus the total cost will be. But how that debt grows can vary. Take overdrafts. There is technically no interest charged on these, just a fee, something like $35. But every time you go deeper into your overdraft, the bank will charge another fee. Meaning, if you use the card for even a $1 expense, like a coffee while you wait to pick up your car, it'll cost you another $35. Bank loans have an average interest rate of about 12%, which is considered fairly low, as well as set payments and loan lengths, meaning you can know how much the loan will cost you from the get-go, as well as how long you have to pay it off. So, for a $500 expense, you might pay it off every month over 2 years, and spend, in total, about $565. There are also fees to apply if you're late or miss a payment, etc., so that number can fluctuate. Credit card interest rates vary, but let's say yours is 24%, about average. Unlike loans, payments are flexible above a certain minimum payment. Say yours is $20. Each month, you can pay anywhere between that and the full balance. If you only pay the minimum the first month, by the next month, about $9-ish in interest will be added to your debt. The more you pay per month, the less you'll end up spending in the end, and the less time it'll take you to pay it off. But keep in mind, you pay interest on the interest, not just on the original debt. So if you keep paying the minimum, and this $500 is your only debt, it'll take you 3 years to pay this off, and end up costing you $700. Then there are payday loans, which work a little differently. They're advertised as short-term, meant to be paid off with your next paycheck. But they have exceptionally high interest rates, about $15 per 100 borrowed, or about 400% when annualized. So in just 2 weeks, you'll owe a total of $575. And if you can't pay all of it, you'll basically start this whole process over and owe an additional rollover fee, all due in just 2 more weeks. Which is why payday loans are considered predatory, and a third of all US states have outlawed them. They're basically designed to turn into a debt spiral. The risks and hidden costs of these paths.
Now y'all see from this video that is horrible. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. That is absolutely horrible. And yes, all those are, I say that, horrible reasons to even try.
To get more complicated.
Overdraft. I've overdrafted before in college, and I'm telling y'all, that overdraft joint, that's not fun. Like she said, every time that thing hit, you gonna pay just a little bit, a little bit. Overdrafting is not the way to go. I don't think it's the way to go. Because that joint builds up. Once you get into that negative, you get charged. I was getting charged what? I think $50. I think it was $50 for going under like that. I was like, hold on. I just got charged $50 extra. What happened? Oh, an overdraft fee. Okay, so I had to pay for going into the negative a little bit. Okay. All right, that's okay. That's all right. But then if you get hit again, hold on. Oh, heck no. I need to do something because can't nothing else hit this card. Can't nothing else hit my bank account. I just got paid that overdraft fee. Then you got the bank loan. Like I said, that's just hard to get into. Over time, you are going to end up paying more. You got fees. You got all that extra stuff. So that ain't the way you want to go. And especially in your emergency, the bank loan, let's be real, that's not even accessible at really. Now the next thing is the credit card, because you already had that credit card. You already had that credit card. That's one of the worst. That's the most abundant out here. I know everybody will. If you have an emergency, you about to swipe that card. Okay, I got a credit card. It got an $1,000 limit on it, and I have $500 left over, so I'm gonna go ahead and swipe it. And you get hit for 24% every single rollover, because you only paid the minimum, which means you probably didn't even pay over the amount of interest that you gained on that. And now you have to pay on that whole, on top of what you have, on that interest that you collected as well. Just like they said in that video. That is why credit cards, you never let your credit card roll over. People ask me about credit cards. Yeah, use them, they give you the points, they do all this. But the reason people don't understand a credit card is because they don't understand that if you let it roll over, you are paying more and 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 more on that interest. That's another spiral thing that goes on. It's just that they say that the interest isn't as high, but 24% to me is all out of this world, too much. Especially when you're paying on the interest on top of what you spent your money on. So you're paying for the interest. Now I'm paying for the interest of the interest. Like, come on. Do never let a balance carry over on your credit card. So I don't even think that's the best thing to use. And then payday loan, we all heard about payday loans. I hope you're not using no payday loan. And this is why they put them in the poor community, because, well, you gotta do it or you ain't gonna have your light bill on. Your water bill ain't gonna run. And they are killing people, basically, in that debt spiral. Y'all seen how predatory that was just in that example. That example was ridiculous, what they do to people with payday loans. I hope in Georgia they don't allow them. As they said, a lot of states have outlawed them. They need to be outlawed because that is definitely predatory. And sometimes credit cards need to be looked at because the amount that they giving y'all and allowing y'all to do with credit cards are ridiculous. And that's why people are in so much credit card debt, because they paying for interest on top of interest on top of interest. I don't hear payday loans affecting too many people nowadays. Like in the past, I know, and definitely in poor communities, payday loans are a big thing. But for most, we middle class, all that, the credit card is where it knocks you across the head the most. And yeah, they say it's not accessible, but when you're in an emergency, you already have that credit card. So it's very accessible at that point. All you're going to do is swipe that card, $500, and I just paid a minimum. And next thing you know, you paying on the interest from 10 years ago. And that just is what it is. That just is what it is. Let me let this video go and finish out. Because y'all cannot keep doing this.
Rely on one of these, a strong emergency fund. If you end up having to rely on one of these, a string of bad luck could put you.
I never thought I would make much money.
Hold on. They done messed up my video.
Say your car.
They done messed up my video. Let me get on to the end of it. Alright, let's get it.
The risks and hidden costs of these paths together make a great case for starting your own emergency fund.
Yes, they do.
If you end up having to rely on one of these, a string of bad luck could put you in a really bad position.
Have you going
And
downhill?
for that 32% of Americans who will need to turn to one of these options, that's a problem the country has yet to solve.
And that's all they had to say, y'all. At the end, they had to say, get you an emergency fund. Get you an emergency fund. That's what you need no matter what. You need an emergency fund. For me, I have an emergency. I don't know why. I knew why, because my car was my biggest emergency. That's why I said I'm getting a new car, because I don't want to have to worry about that. And I have the maintenance packages and all that, because I don't want to worry about that. I had an emergency with my car probably about at the low end every 3 months. It's an emergency with my car. Something's going on with my car. About every 3 months. It was an older car, so it had been driven a lot. And once you get to that 100,000, something's going to go wrong here. Something's going to go wrong there. Something's going to go wrong in that part. Something's going to go wrong on that end. And it spirals downward if you do not have that emergency fund. What Dave Ramsey say? Because we can take some good things from Dave Ramsey now. Y'all, I know y'all hate him. $2,000 while you're paying off your debt. $2,000 is all you need while you're paying off your debt. Because most emergency funds are under $2,000. Most emergencies will cost you under $2,000. And it will not uproot everything that you have going in your life. You won't have to ask someone, can you borrow $500 because your tires are all about to go bald or they're about to pop. You won't have to ask someone. You won't have to sell something because you need a new battery for your car. You won't have to swipe your credit card because your AC went out in the middle of the summer. You feel me? And all that stuff, yes, it matters for your sanctity and your life. It matters for your life, how good your life is going, and things like that. Emergency fund, emergency fund, emergency fund. This video should have been why you need an emergency fund, because getting $500 is going to put you through it. And they was only talking about $500. So think about those numbers. Just switch them up. Switch up those numbers. $1,000 emergency comes. $1,500 emergency comes. A $200 emergency comes. Just add it up. And that's why everyone needs an emergency fund. If you with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And leave a comment on your way out the door. Y'all, we going to go ahead and end this show on off. We had a good show. Living off $65K a year in Houston with 3 jobs. 3 jobs. We learned a lot from that. We learned so much from that. Of work ethic, living below your means, and just setting yourself up for the future. Then we had Stephen A. Smith going in on the Democrats about what are they presenting to the American people. That's why I think what are they presenting about the American people? It wasn't even about Donald Trump to me. That video wasn't even about Donald Trump. That was a message to the Democratic Party. Y'all need to do better. That's what that was. A message to the Democratic Party: do better. And then we ended it off with, like I said, I'm changing that video names. Why you need an emergency fund? Because getting that $500 is going to put you through hell and back. And it's going to cost you way more on the back end than it is on the front end of you just sacrificing, $100 a month for 2 years. Sacrifice 100 just so that you have a nest egg, a cushion. You have a cushion when it comes to emergencies that happen in your life. I appreciate y'all for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment on your way out the door. Peace, love, and riches. I'm out.